Welcome back to another episode of Mimi's Musings podcast. I'm your host, Mungu Mildred, and I'm so happy that you've joined me on another Saturday for another amazing episode. On today's episode, I'm going to title this musing as Betrayal or. Like whatever I'm going to be talking about, I need you to help me decide, was this betrayal or was it doing the right thing? Because I've been reviewing a couple of African movies and some of them have the same theme. And not just the movies that I've been reviewing, it's just life. Like you hear something and you're like, was that a betrayal or was it, just somebody trying to survive, or was it somebody trying to do the right thing, or, questions. So I'm going to give you like, is it 4 or 3 scenarios or something like that? And then you help me figure out if it was betrayal or not. My neighbors are still talking. I'm still recording on the same day as I recorded last Wednesday's episode. So they're still up and it's 12:39. They're still telling stories. They're still laughing. So if you hear shrieks or laughter or conversation in the background, just know that, yeah, the guys are still up and they're having a good time and they can't break it up. So, nikuvumilia, okay? Betrayal or Fast, one of the latest movies we have watched on the channel, like the review, Man of God. On Man of God, the Man of God, I don't remember his name. If you remember, the wife, she knew the man had gotten a girl pregnant because she opened the envelope that was meant for him. And so she knew that secret, but then she kept it quiet. She kept it quiet. She continued being married to this guy. She avoided him for some time, but then she went back to being there for him. They started this church, even though deep down she knew that this guy was not like a saint. He was not a man of God. He was very problematic. But she kept doing whatever they were doing. She kept staying in the marriage until the end, when he was like, I want to get a divorce, I want to leave you. And that's when she was like, okay, that's what you want to do. She showed him her true colors. She was like, oh, you think I do not know everything that I've been doing? I made you and I can break you. And so she was part of why he was arrested, I think, because I think she betrayed him. So I'm like, that action that she did, was it a betrayal, to their marriage, or was she doing the right thing? Because sometimes you watch this thing, you were part of the problem. He was a terrible seed from the beginning. She kept loving him. She kept going after him. Even while he was dating other people, she kept on helping him with his schoolwork, trying to get him to church and everything. Even like when they got together, he was crying about another woman, if I remember correctly in the movie. But then she stuck around and then got married to him. And I think she knew he wasn't in love with her, even as they got married. And then when she found out everything that he was doing, she kept it inside. She didn't even tell him. She didn't confront him. She didn't tell anybody about it. She kept quiet, knowing that this man was sleeping with other women in church. But at the end, when he was like, yeah, I'm going to divorce you, that's when she was like, yeah, and I'm going to report everything that you've done. I'm going to ruin you. Because if you think I do not know, well, I'm paraphrasing, but if you think I do not know what you are doing, I know everything. I know about the women. I know about that one that got an abortion. I know it all. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. Both of them should have gone to prison. I know he was the one who was doing the mistakes, but she entertained it as the wife. At some point, we have to be like, yeah, both of you need to face some, punishment. Because after what happened, yes, she becomes the victim and she can say, I didn't know, but she knew. So was that what she did, a betrayal to the marriage or whatever? Or was she like in the right to do what she did? That's my question. Another movie that we watched in the channel as well, I gave a review of another Nigerian movie called Thin Line. And this one was also about people of God, like another man of God. So this was Pastor Raymond. You remember he had an affair with, was it Annie? Okay, but anyway, Pastor Raymond had an affair with a woman who had, like, she had done the wrong thing. She saw him, she wanted to get into his bed, and she did everything possible to do so. And then he did not tell the wife at the beginning. Then he confessed. The wife said that she had forgiven him and everything looked to be okay. But then this mistress kept on coming on to him. I think it's Uche Montana, meaning that is Annie. Annie kept on coming on to him. She even got pregnant because this guy did it again, like your man. Hoy. But the wife said that she had forgiven him because it was, in the past, blah, blah, blah. They seemed to have moved on from it. Then, the moment she realized that this lady was pregnant and she had been trying to get pregnant for years, she flipped. And so she went and killed Annie and then tried to frame the husband for that murder. Who is betraying who here? Did she betray the husband? Did she betray their marriage? Or what? Because we already know that he did. He betrayed their entire thing. He went against their marriage vows. He cheated when he didn't have to. He could have just been like, you know what, do your worst, do whatever you want to do. And he could have gone and explained to the wife. The wife maybe would have understood because he would have done nothing. But then him confessing after he willingly slept with her, even though she was trying to blackmail him, but he did it. And then afterwards, he was feeling guilty and then went and cried on the wife and was like, I'm so sorry, I did this, this, this. And the wife forgiving him. That thing, do not tell me you're forgiven me only to go back on it and then betray me or hurt me in another way or hold that thing over my head for eternity. Like, that's just wrong. And that's what she did. She said she had forgiven him. The moment things got worse, because they're already terrible, he cheated. And that's just the truth. It was already a betrayal from his part. And then she acted like she was okay. But the moment she realized that this woman was pregnant and the husband was supposedly still seeing her, although he had gone there to totally like break things off, the wife still went behind their backs. She killed Annie and then tried to frame the husband for that murder. Was that a betrayal or was she justified for it? What would you say? This again, this podcast is about my musing. So those are some of the things that I think about when I watch these movies. Because I know I don't always say what I think sometimes while doing the reviews. Because while I'm recording the review, I'm just like, I want to get over this and just finish it. And sometimes my notes disappear. Then later on, I'm thinking about the situation and I'm like, would I have done the same thing? I don't think I would have committed murder because I usually go like, just leave. If you're not happy in the relationship, just leave. Your husband has decided to go with the other woman, leave. I know it will be painful, it will be hard and everything, but imagine killing somebody and then you end up in jail for the rest of your life for taking someone's life. Or you kill somebody and you frame your husband and then what? He goes to prison and then you what? You live your life happily, knowing that you murdered somebody and let somebody else take the fall. There are ways of punishing people who have betrayed you that do not involve murder, honestly. But I'm like, tell me, guys, did she betray him or was she justified for doing what she did? I'm just giving you examples. And in these examples, think about any other situation that you know in your life. Maybe a similar thing happened. It doesn't have to be the wife who betrayed the husband or whatever. Just similar things and tell me in the comment section if you think they were justified for doing what they did. A couple of years ago, I saw on Lynn Ngugi's show, there's this Kenyan lady who met a guy online and they started dating and he came, they got married and he took her abroad. I don't know which country they are in, but they went abroad. Now, when they got there, they got pregnant. She had a baby. I think they had 3 children by the time this story was coming out, or there were 2. And the last one he was still very small. So I think there were 2 or 3 children. Now, this lady gets married to this guy. And after a couple of kids, she realizes that that computer that he likes sitting on, watching whatever he watches, that he uses it for child pornography. Yeah. So one time, I don't know he had gone where he had gone, and she was using his laptop or his computer. I don't know which one it was, but then she was using it, and she saw this folder, and on opening it, it was like child porn, video after video after video after video. And at first, I think she tried to talk to him or something like that. And she says that she tried to protect the children and what, like, such situation, you take your children and you leave. But she was in a foreign country, whatever, you never know what you will do until you're in the situation. So I don't really want to judge her, but so anyway, I think she did nothing at first. Tried to talk to him. He said he was going to change, but then he put passwords in everything that was his, like she couldn't access them and stuff. But then he makes a trip to go to the Philippines. And if you know anything about that part of Asia, like the Philippines, Thailand, and all such places, I don't know, I'm sure at some point in your life you've had a story or two of what happens there. And so there's a lot of child pornography in such places. And allegedly, by the way, let me say allegedly there's that in those places. And he was going there to take part in those things or to be closer to those things. I do not know. It's been a while since I watched this video. You should go and watch it on Lynn Googie's show. So he goes, and that's when she finds an opening and calls the police, tell them what has happened, and they try to get the laptop or the computer or whatever, and they see those folders that he had put there. So when he comes back into the country, he's arrested at the airport and is taken in. So I think he stayed there for a couple of years, and then he was released, or what. I don't remember the full story. But what I remember is that whenever he wanted to see his children, they had to be supervised. It had to be under supervision. So the mom had to be there or another adult. And I remember the man's mom was very, very upset with her. They said a lot of things about her, tried to make her like look like the villain in the story and all of that. But yes, he was arrested eventually. So in such a situation, I'm yet again pulled in different sides. The moment she found out, I knew that this man used to stay in the house with her own children, because this man who can do that to other people's children, enjoy watching children being molested and enjoy that, he's technically a pedophile. So he enjoys doing that to other people's children, and you find that out about him, and you have had kids with him. I don't know. She says he never touched their own kids, but you never know. And you could ask your own kids and they could say no. But but then if he has never done it and you ask your kids, then you are putting a terrible picture in their mind. Like, it's just a whole thing. But she did not report him the first time she found out. She was quiet about it. Of course, she was terrified. She started watching her children even more, but she did not report him. Then when it became too much, that's when she freaked out. And I think somebody also advised her to go to the police or something. And that's when she did that. So in such a situation, did she do the right thing, even though it was a little bit late? Or did she betray her husband? Because the husband's family was like, you betrayed our son. He's your husband. You should have done better. Like, you shouldn't have taken him to the police. You could have come and talked to us. Maybe you could have done something. And I had somebody say sometime last week but one, that somebody had asked them to give advice to unmarried women before they got into marriage. And somebody had written, understand one thing. His family is his family. They might love you, they might invite you to their family and everything, but at the end of the day, his family is his family and you are the outsider. So, should things fall apart, just know that they might take his side and not yours. And I was like, that's true. It's true, yes, but there's some families, especially if you know the person is bad, like the person who's done that thing is bad, your family member is the one who's on the wrong. Some families just go like, ah, yeah, no, we are going with the other person, even if they're not related to us by blood. But in that situation, I'm like, congratulations that you finally reported him. It was a little bit late because you should have done it the moment you found out the first time. But I understand she was also trying to give him a benefit of the doubt. Like maybe, I don't know, I can't explain. I can't even try to pretend to excuse what he was doing. But anyway, so when she finally reported, which side would you take? Would you take the family side that she betrayed her husband? Or would you be like, yeah, no, she was on the right? I go like she was on the right, honestly. Because, yeah, he needed to be in prison for the rest of his life. So, yeah, that's a situation where I was like, what would you do? Because marriage is supposed to be forever. But then again, you marry somebody and sometimes you don't even really get to know them. And then you realize at the end of it all that they were just monsters like that man was. So, what will you do? Would you say that that was a betrayal? Another story from my village. There was this married couple, and this man used to beat up his wife. And the last time he did it, it was over meat. So he had gone, I don't know where, come with a kanyama quarter or something, and asked her to cook it. When she cooked the meat, she served the kids and she served herself as well. And this man, when he came to eat and he found that it wasn't all the meat that he had brought home, he was very pissed off and he beat her up because of it. He was like, where did all my meat go? You think I went to work hard to buy meat so that I can bring for you and your children to eat? So the wife was like, you even beat me because of this. So she left and went to her home. She has older brothers and she went and reported the husband to the brothers. And so when the brothers heard what he had done, they were like, okay, let's invite this man, this stupid idiot who dared lay his hands on you because of meat. And so they invited him, they prepared a meal for him. There was chicken, there was meat, there was chapatis, there was what? Because they told him that he's coming to talk about the marriage and, to see if they can resolve the situation so that he can take his wife home with him. So they made him eat. After they had all eaten, they were like, okay, now, are you full? Did you enjoy that meal? A meal that was prepared by us and the same kind of meal that we prepared for you when we came here to take our sister when you were marrying her. But now in your own home, you dare beat her up because of meat. We wanted to feed you fast. And so they jump on him and they beat him up and they beat him up and they beat him up. This is a story. I'm not sure if it's the truth, but that's the story that we were told when this guy died. So he comes back home because they were in a different area. And so he comes back to the village. And after a few days, he dies. People believe that he died, due to internal bleeding because he had a splitting headache since he left that home. And we are not sure if that's the truth or that's just a story, but that's what they say, that he was beaten over there with the brothers and then he came back. He had this splitting headache since he came back and then he eventually died alone in his home. The wife, of course, did not come back with him. So, was this wife justified for telling the brothers and allowing them to beat him up, or was it a betrayal to the husband? Like, I get that he had done something wrong. He had beaten her up because of food, which is something very silly and very, very stupid and very, very selfish and wrong in just all kinds of ways. So, did he deserve it? Did he deserve being beaten like that to the point that he died, even if it wasn't immediately, but he died due to that beating? So, was she justified for reporting her husband to her brothers, after he did everything that he did to her? Or was it wrong on her part? Was it a betrayal to her husband? I don't know. Because I get it, but it doesn't ever have to come to death. You had gone home. She could have stayed there. She could have stayed with her brother. She could have stayed at her home. They didn't have to do what they did to him. And the thing is, if that story is true, nobody has paid for that death at all, because he didn't die immediately, and it could just be a story, or it could be the truth. But is the wife now happy because her husband, the father of her children, is dead because of what her brothers did, because of what she did? So, yeah. Was that a betrayal on her part? Or was she justified for doing what she did? So those are my scenarios for today. Maybe I'll do another betrayal or sometime in the future. Maybe we can do a betrayal or part 2, 2.0 or something. But for today, I wanted to give those scenarios. Because I'm like, these things, I think about them. I told you, I overthink about situations. And these ones, they just came to my mind and I was like, yeah, were they justified for doing what they did? And I know it's women going against their husbands and all the stories that I've told. But I know it's all marriages, and that's why the betrayal part of it feels a little bit stronger. And that's why I was like, because it's institution of marriage, you swore to love this person for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer or whatever. You said all those vows, and then they did something wrong, totally wrong. All these men that I've mentioned, they did very, very bad things to these women or in front of these women or something like that. They did something very, very bad. But the women gave them chances at first. Even this last woman that I've spoken about from the village, she had been beaten before. She had taken it. And yeah, she shouldn't have. Nobody should be beaten like that. But I feel like what he got from what he did is much worse than what happened to her. And I know, I'm not trying to be on his side or in any way. You lay your hands on me, I'm leaving. But I feel like she should have just gone and maybe told the brothers, and it would have ended there. It didn't have to get to like someone's death. But anyway, that's just me. So if that is the truth, then I do not know. Somebody should have paid for it. He paid for what he did to her, but I feel like that punishment was too much. Anyway, that's just my musings. But anyway, all these scenarios, were the women betraying their husbands, or were they justified for doing what they did? Or were they wrong as well, apart from the last woman maybe? But yeah, here as well, because she caused someone's death. So were they all justified for their actions, or was what they did a betrayal to their marriage, to their husbands, and to their families? Tell me in the comment section down below. And also, some scenarios that something happened and you looked at it and you're like, is that a betrayal, or that person justified for doing what they did? So tell me those stories as well in the comment section. And then remember to follow me on Instagram, Mimi's Musings Podcast, and on TikTok as well, Mimi's Musings Podcast. Make your orders if you need to. I make cupcakes, I make brownies, I make such things. If you want me to make them for you, make your requests, DM me on my Instagram, Mimi's Musings Podcast, and I'll make them for you. After doing that, please come back here and remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so that whenever I upload something new, you're going to be amongst the first people to come and watch. Okay? Bye-bye now.